and welcome to Illuminated Life. My name is Jerry, and I'm going to be guiding you through this Freedom, Joy, and Inspiration series. So in this series, we're going to learn to cultivate, embody, and amplify the feelings of freedom, joy, and inspiration. We're going to use movement, mindfulness practices, meditation, the breath work, and lots of other cool modalities to try and stimulate these feelings. So the intention and the inspiration behind this video is kind of threefold. So first of all, the values of Mackenzie and I when we wanted to create Illuminated Life were wanting to create more freedom, joy, and inspiration in our own lives. And we also wanted to share content and offerings that would help other people to empower themselves to experience more freedom and joy and inspiration. So that's one aspect of it. And then the other two aspects are coming from two different places. So if you're into energy, when we learn to embody these certain feeling states, especially positive ones, we energetically start to attract to ourselves more experiences that reflect this inner state of being. So for some people, this is a little bit more of an esoteric perspective on this, but yeah, if you have lived life, you might notice that when you're in a really good mood in your day, things kind of go well for you. And sometimes when you start your day in not so good of a state, it seems like the world is against you. So we're learning to cultivate these positive feeling states so that we can start to attract more experiences, people, synchronicities in our life that reflect this state. And then the other perspective is more of a science-based perspective, and I won't get too much into the science of it, but from a physiological standpoint, the body functions way more harmoniously when we are experiencing positive emotion. So again, from living life, you've probably noticed that in times of stress and overwhelm, and these more negative feeling states, you might have a tendency to not feel as good, you might not sleep as good, you might find yourself getting sick more often. Whereas when you, again, are happy and joyful and inspired, the body functions really well. So if you want to go deeper into this, I highly recommend reading work by Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza. They go really deep into the science of why this happens, more of the chemical and physiological components. But we are also offering it from this perspective that when you feel good, the body functions way more harmoniously. So we're going at this from all of those different perspectives. So whatever has called you here, trust that you're in the right place, even if you're not feeling free or joyful or inspired. That is the whole point of this series, is to help bring you towards that state of being. So we are going to be using a lot of yoga as our platform for offering this series. And as I mentioned, we'll be infusing that with other different modalities. So we're going to dedicate 4 days to each feeling state. We're going to have one of the days be about just learning to connect to the feeling. One of the days is about releasing resistance to embodying that feeling. Then we're just going to celebrate the feeling once we've gotten good at it. And then we always will have a day where we'll practice a more restful and restorative style sequence to really integrate all of those different teachings together. So if you have a journaling practice, it's really great to write down reflections and notes as you go along with this series. We will be including a PDF with some prompts that you can use. If you don't want to write it down, if that feels like too much work, you can even just use these as simple reflections. Props that might be handy if you want to use today's video as a preparation day, gathering your yoga mat, some blocks, if you have a strap, a bolster, a blanket, and then any other things that just make you feel really good. If you like having crystals around or essential oils or anything like that, creating a little space for yourself to do these practices that feels really comforting to you. And then my only other recommendation is if you have the ability, doing these practices in the morning is really helpful so that you can more easily notice the effects of the practice throughout the day. And so I have created most of the practices to be within that 20-minute mark. So it's a little bit easier for you to do that before you start your day. Other than that, I think that covers it. So we'll just take the last few minutes of this video to set our intention for the practice. So close down the eyes, find a comfortable seat, take a nice long inhale and exhale fully. You might even want to sigh it out. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. One last time, inhale. And exhale. And it might feel good to place the hands over the heart, one on top of the other. And as you breathe here, I'd like you to ask yourself the question, what would I like to gain out of this series? And there's no wrong answer. Maybe you simply want to integrate a movement practice into your day. Maybe you want to dabble in meditation. Maybe you're eager to shift out of an old way of being, finding more freedom, more joy, more inspiration in your everyday life. And take your time to ponder this in this moment, and you can take this question throughout your day, writing down any insights that may come to you. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, you can slowly start to open up the eyes. So thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to share these practices with you, and I will see you on the mat tomorrow for day 1. Namaste.